Sheer, do you have the list in front of you that we came up with last night?
Nope, I do not.
All right. Well, I'm going to. Well, either way, pull it up. It's on your text messages, dude. All right. Well, actually, Kevin, bring it up right now, actually, and then we'll just go through it so the people
You
can
didn't send
see.
me the whole list. Oh yeah, you did. Oh no, I got it.
All right. Let's go 1 through 10. We're gonna make our cases. First, Tetairoa McMillan, or as Chip Patterson calls him, Tet McMillan. This is the best player in the conference. I do not care what anybody says. He is going to be a monster this season. He looks great. Players like him don't come through the U of A. He's the best wide receiver in the country. I take Tetairoa McMillan at number 1. Sheer, what say you?
Yeah, it's either him or Olly Gordon, but the thing I keep coming back to is T-Mac just does so much because of T-Mac. Like Olly Gordon, good O-line and all that. T-Mac is just a freak. I mean, there's a lot of Olly Gordons, and I don't mean that as an insult, but there's a lot of good running backs. There's not a lot of T-Macs.
There's not a lot of T-Macs. And the other thing, too, it's very important to state that with T-Mac, that it's also, I think, more difficult to be a wide receiver because you have to go get the ball, whereas with the running back, they just have to hand you the ball. So T-Mac is that dude. And again, when you see people out there that say T-Mac isn't the best wide receiver in the country, tell them to shoo. Go to You Can See Me in St. Louis. Go away. T-Mac, though, on a serious note, an absolute monster. All right, T-Burn says, Mike, with post-game starting next week, which weekday will be the off day? Thursday will be the off day, my friend. Thursday will be the off day. Okay, now, let's get to Olly Gordon. Olly Gordon's a stud. He's my number 2 as well. You watch Olly Gordon. If he plays the entire season, he is going to put up massive numbers this year, Sheer. This is true. He's a different dude. I think he's the best running back in the country.
Yeah, I mean, he should technically, he should lead the nation in rushing. Again, like if you wanted to tell me that he was number 1 in the conference, I wouldn't throw a fit. He's really good. And when you take a look at Oklahoma State, what makes him even more impressive is their passing game sucks. Like Alan Bowman is not good. He's average at best. And so Olly Gordon still putting up those numbers is pretty impressive.
Very, very impressive. Now, then at number 3, we've got Travis Hunter. All right, now listen. Travis Hunter is obviously a very, very good football player. I do not care, though, about what these Colorado fans keep putting out there. I only caught 3 passes. That is on Travis Hunter. That is not my fault that you did not want to put him on T-Mac for the majority of the game. I do not care about that argument. I think it's a specious argument, Sheer.
I mean, I could pull up PFF. He had a pretty damn good day, T-Mac.
Yes, he did.
Against Travis Hunter. And what happened was, if people watch that game, they'll realize that they took Hunter off.
Yes.
T-Mac. I'm gonna look right now because I'm mad. But yeah, Travis Hunter is really good. Obviously, I'm not like I'm saying something crazy, but it's hard for me to make the case that he's better than Olly or T-Mac. Like I'm looking right now. Travis Hunter. I'm gonna look. You keep.
I'll keep talking. T-Mac against Colorado went for over 100 yards and went for 100 yards.
I want to know the exact receiving grades for T-Mac in that game.
What do you got
against? I'm gonna find it.
All right. Well, either way,
by the end of the show, I'll find it.
Yeah, I'll keep going when you find it. And again, I do not care if somebody comes in here and is like, oh, we ran zone or this and that. Listen, at the end of the day, you decided not to put him on T-Mac the majority of the game. When he was on T-Mac pushed him around for a touchdown, and there was probably going to be more of that. You also saw that in I think it was the Polynesian Bowl when they were in high school that T-Mac did very well as well. Listen, T-Mac is a stud. And the problem, though, too, is that Travis Hunter is also 6'1", as opposed to T-Mac being 6'5" or 6'6". Again, if just because I relinquish the crown to you doesn't mean that the crown was not deserved in the first place. Does that make sense?
Travis Hunter versus T-Mac. 3 receptions. Oh, no, this is receiving. Yeah. 3 receptions. Yeah. He caught 3 out of 5.
Yeah, he caught 3 out of 5. But again, he wasn't on him the majority of the game, so I don't care. No. And again, he had the touchdown in the end zone that we all saw right there. That was it. Travis Hunter, very good, but no, he is not in the top 2. Now, let's see here. Then we'll go Nick Martin at 4. I like Nick Martin. He's good, sure. I didn't even know who he was until about a month ago, but he passes the test. Very, very good for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad that I could.
No clue who he was.
I'm glad I could introduce you to one of the best linebackers in the country. I actually would have him below Noah. I think Noah's that good, but Martin's a beast. Everyone says Jacob Manu, and I love Manu, but I mean, the numbers that Nicholas Martin put up last year, like I had him, I know people gave it to Travis Hunter. I had him as my preseason Big 12 defensive player of the year. Like last year, he put up 133 tackles and 6 sacks. Like he's good.
Interesting. By the way, do I sound okay?
You're a little low right now.
All right, hold on. How about this? Is this better?
You're just very soft-spoken.
I am very soft-spoken. All right. Well, either way, there's nothing I can do about it. Okay. Now, when it comes to now, let's talk about it. The wide receiver, or excuse me, let's go. If we can bring the list back up there. I like Nick Martin a lot. Noah Fafita, I'm putting at 5. Noah Fafita, I believe, is the best quarterback in the entire conference, certainly. And I think by the end of the year, you could make a case that he's the best in the entire country. He's fantastic. Again, Shear, you came to him late in the game, but better late than never. I look for a monster year out of him. You know that this unit is he's got a lot of talent around him. I'm very excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm really, really curious to see how he does under this offense. But we said his arm strength looks to be better. One thing that's also stood out, and he said it the other day, he has a little bit more freedom in this offense. We'll see how he handles it. But the list of quarterbacks I'm taking over Noah Fafita nationally is very, very slim.
Yes, exactly. Now, would you take Jayden DeLauro over him?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
All right, now we got Glenn in the chat. ASU enthusiast Glenn. Glenn actually likes Shear now. Glenn, for the longest time, didn't like Shear, but we found what he was doing. He was playing hard to get. He was quote tweeting Shear all the time, and then after a while, I figured out, man, Glenn likes Shear. That's what this is about here.
I'm a very nice boy. People don't realize that.
It is. You're a man. You're a very scrumptious individual. Very, very good. All right, now let's go back to the list, Mr. Great Kevin Thomas. So we got, all right, now at 6, we got Tshaun Brooks, second best running back in the conference, 1,600 yards, really, really good player. Again, you're going to notice a theme here. There's a lot of really, really good running backs in this conference.
Tshaun Brooks is a freak. I mean,
Right.
290 carries last year, 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. Yeah, just an absolute beast. And maybe it's a little close between him and Devon Neil, but that's more of a sign of how good the running backs are in the conference than anything. The Big 12 is, to me, has the best running backs in the country.
And is it even close?
No, like we don't have RJ Harvey on this list. RJ Harvey had 1,400 yards and 16 touchdowns last year.
We don't have Giddens on this list either.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And guess who we also don't have? Cam Scattaboo.
Or, as Kevin WN says, we don't even have Jeff Sims on this list.
Yeah, Jeff Sims must be 11. Jeff Sims,
barely missed.
Jeff Sims, very honorable mention.
Yeah.
How about that? Okay, Now, Kevin Thomas, if you could bring this back up again. My ADHD is going wild. I need to see this list. Jacob Manu at 7. All right, I put this out there. I do not care what anybody says. Takario Davis is fantastic. I would love to be Takario Davis and have his future. It's going to be a high pick. I get all of that. Jacob Manu is the best player on the defensive side of the football for the U of A, and it is not close. It is not close. You could ask any coach off record on this team, and they will tell you that Jacob Manu is the one that makes this defense go.
Well, I think we need to clarify because we had this conversation the other night. Takario is a better NFL prospect.
No doubt.
Manu. Jacob Manu is the better college football player.
Period.
I don't think that's anything crazy.
You know what's funny about it? You have Nick Martin significantly ahead of Jacob Manu, and Jacob Manu's stats are like the exact same.
I don't have him significantly ahead.
Oh, you do.
This is your list.
Yeah. Well, no. But
that's a good question by Brad Rich.
Right. Gunnar Cruz in front of Jeff Sims on the depth chart. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
You think so?
Here's why. With Gunnar Cruz, here's the deal with Gunnar Cruz. He will not turn the ball over. He will throw it out of bounds every single time or throw it at somebody's feet. With Jeff Sims, he will turn the ball over nonstop. We cannot have that.
That's fair.
Jeff Sims is destructive. That's why I always joke with people like with Glenn. Glenn doesn't get this. With Trenton Bourguet, I know Bourguet isn't Joe Montana. I get all of that. But Bourguet also is at least going to get you in and out of the offense. And guess what? If you go 3 and out, you went 3 and out. With Jeff Sims, 3 and out means going back that way for a touchdown.
Look at this little graphic. That was a good graphic. I liked it.
Right. Interesting. All right. So now, interesting. All right. Now, Let's talk a little bit about Devon Neil as well. Okay, with Devon Neil, I like Devon Neil a great deal. Kid out of Kansas, both really, really good. There's a lot to like about Devon Neil.
I mean, Devon Neil, 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns. Like, that's another one where you're like, oh, okay. Again, like the running backs, the star power in this conference is pretty wild.
Right. Let's see here. Glenn says, love how Levitt thrown 5 interceptions spring, all but Sims was challenging him for a spot. Telling you, Glenn, you know what you're up against. Glenn, you know what you're up to. Be nice, Glenn. Okay, now, but Jacob Manu, very much like him. I think Devon Neal's going to have a monster year as well. Now, let's talk a little bit about, who's see here? Shadur Sanders. I got him at 9. Because he's not better than these other players. Listen, Shadur's actually he's a very good football player. I get all of that. Don't care. He led Colorado to the worst place, last finish in the entire conference last year. Guess what? That matters to me. Noah Fafita would have had a 4 or 5 win team if he didn't come in for Jayden Delora. Yes. So, again, Arizona was going to suck, too, if Noah didn't come in. I don't care what anybody says. Colorado finished last in the conference last year. Shoo!
Shador is obviously good, but there's things I want to see. Like, I need to see that O-line and all that. He's very talented. Again, we're talking about college versus NFL. If you want to tell me he's a better NFL prospect than college player, I totally get it. It's just the way we looked at this list is if we were drafting a team, what would our order be? And that would be the order.
Right. Okay. That we agree with that now. At number 10. Let's we bring this back up. I like Jaylen Daniels. This is a pick based off potential, but I like Jaylen Daniels. I think Jaylen Daniels is going to have a nice season. He's just got to stay healthy. He's another one of these brittle guys but when he plays, he's very, very good. I'm actually more bullish on Kansas than many other folks are, Sheer. I think Kansas is going to be a very good team this year.
I do too. They have to stay healthy. I would have gone with Cam Rising at that spot.
All right.
At 10, but whatever. Like, they're both good quarterbacks. Again, another thing, like, I was looking at quarterbacks last night, and there's a lot of good ones in this conference. There's guys that aren't even getting attention that are really good.
Interesting. Okay,
now Rocco Becht.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the leftovers. Rocco Becht, very, very good. Garrett Green, also a good quarterback as well. You know who's also really good, and I think people are sleeping on a little bit? KJ Jefferson. I like KJ Jefferson. I think he's going to be very good at Central Florida. Very scrumptious.
I think KJ Jefferson in a Gus Malzahn offense is going to be wild. I didn't realize how big he was. Like, I knew he was big. He's 6'3", 250.
Yes. He's got my dimension.
Yeah, he's basically us at quarterback.
Yes, exactly. And he doesn't move, and he moves faster than us, actually.
Does he? He's very nimble, Mike.
Yes, no, he is very, very nimble. Now, with Brandon Isotolo, great name, by the way. First of all, he gave the Double Del Burger. He said that it slaps. Very, very good.
That's like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Now, he also says Fafita or Avery Johnson. All day I take Fafita. Let's talk about Avery Johnson here for a second. Johnson is kind of the wild card of the entire.
There's no bigger enigma in college football or question to me than Avery Johnson.
Right. With Avery Johnson, he looks the part. He looked good in the I think it was like the Sweet Pop-Tart Bowl or something last year.
Yeah, he's super talented, like super fast. He's really good, but it's the case of like I need to see it.
We all silly like the mayor.